So good morning. So I believe there's something very special about today, isn't there? Okay, aside from my birthday, which it is, thank you. And thank you for singing to me earlier, that was very nice. Aside from my birthday, there's something very special about today. Yes, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. That's a problem with the May birthday is sometimes it falls on Mother's Day. My grandfather, his was on the 8th, and it would happen to him also. So yes, today we're talking about moms. What makes moms so special? Now, what makes mom special? Name out a few things that your mom has done for you that you remember. Don't be shy. Go ahead, just name it right out. You don't even have to raise your hand, just say it.
Drove me to gymnastics.
Okay, drove you to gymnastics. There you go. Anyone else?
Loved me unconditionally.
Loved unconditionally. All right. Don't be shy. Come on, keep them coming. Just shout it out.
Put our needs. She put our needs ahead of
Drove you to Cedar Point, put your needs ahead of your own. Yeah, she put your needs ahead of hers. Yeah, anyone else want to? What? Taught you to sew. My mom taught me to sew. We have a thing in common there. So there you go. Yeah.
Made an outfit for me when I was in 4th grade for a play.
Made an outfit for a play. Yeah, moms are good at that too, aren't they? They will buy an outfit. They will do an outfit.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Made money for the family. Taught you to put others before yourself. Yeah, not only did she put your needs ahead of hers, she taught you to do that same thing. Yeah. Took you to church. Amen. A few of it took you to church. Prayed for you. Encouraged you through college, through life. Say it, it's fine.
She taught me not to be mean unless you're messed with.
Not to be mean unless you're messed with. Wow. There we go. We'll end on that note because that's awesome right there. So yeah, bottom line, moms do amazing things, don't they? Moms do amazing things. And moms are just amazing in general. Just the fact that they do all this stuff for us, making a costume for us, teaching us to put others ahead of us, teach us, to be nice to people and not mess with them unless they're starting something with us, apparently.
I don't think she really thought that she loved me.
And yeah, she loves you. Mother's love. Yeah, they do amazing things. Moms are just amazing people. The fact that, one thing it wasn't quite said is that they make sure the kids are clean. Yeah. That's a task, isn't it? That's an ongoing task. Sometimes a fruitless effort. But they make sure the kids are clean, especially before going anywhere like, school or church. Make sure they're presentable. Make sure they have clothes on. Because some kids, especially when they're young, like to go out naked. Run out of the house naked. Which is, it's cute when you're a kid. It's creepy when you're an adult. But when you're a kid, it's cute. But yeah, they make sure they have clothes on. And moms, they know when something is wrong, don't they? They have that sort of sense. They're like, hey, there's something wrong with my child. They're not quite the same. There's something bothering them. And they pick up on that. They have that sense that something is bothering them. Whether it be something that's going on in school, a bully's picking on them, or it could be they broke up with their first girlfriend or their second girlfriend or whatever, and they're upset by that. They know it. They know that. They can pick up on it. They make sure the children's fed. Someone said they put the children's needs above their own, and sometimes with feeding, that's the way it goes. I know my mom has told me that, sometimes, and I grew up in a family of 7 kids, and there wasn't always enough money to go around. And sometimes she would go hungry to make sure that we were fed. Again, they make sure the children have food. They put the children's needs above their own. They're fed. The children have what they need. And they work hard. All the things they do, that's hard work. It's pretty much a full-time job being a mom. And what's even more amazing is that some moms also work a job on top of being a mom. It's an amazing feat. Guys, honestly, do we know how moms do this? We don't, do we? Yeah, by God's grace. Thank you, Pat. Absolutely. It is by the grace of God that moms can do this. Because God has given mom that special ability, that ability to be like superheroes, to be superhuman at times, to be able to do all these things. And they love their children dearly. So much they want to protect them. You know, I mentioned if they have like a bully's picking on them at school, and a lot of times, as a mom, you just want to go down there. And you want to teach that bully a lesson. You want to talk to that bully. You're like, stop picking on my child. You want to intervene. You're protective of your kids. You talk about a mother bear when the cubs are being messed with. That mother bear is going to do some damage to whoever's messing with her cubs. And you moms, you're like that mother bear. Someone messes with your children, oh, it's on. It's on. In a mother's love, it really never ends. That's the most amazing thing is you want to see a reflection of the love God has for us. Look at how a mother loves their children. They have that unconditional love that no matter how much they mess up, and our kids do mess up, don't they? Kids do mess up. I know as a child I messed up, and my mom still loved me. Or how much they do right and they make you proud. You still love them. That's what makes moms so amazing. So we're going to look at a mom today. I know Mother's Day, a lot of times they look at Mary, the mom of Jesus. Sometimes, look into Proverbs and, the ideal woman as to, comparing that to a mom. I've had a pastor do that before. But what we're going to do today, we're going to look at a mom that you wouldn't really think of. This is about a mother's request. Matthew chapter 15. And we're going to start in verse 21. We're going to walk through the story. We're going to walk through the story, see what happens. Because this is an amazing story of a mom who has a request for Jesus. Her child is suffering. Her child is in need. And the mom doesn't know what to do, so she turns to Jesus. She turns to Jesus for help. So let's find out what happens in this story. This is the woman who's known as a Canaanite. She's not a Jew. She's not an Israelite. She's an outsider, a Gentile, referred to as a Canaanite. So we start in verse 21. See, Jesus, he had just left the area of where the Jews are. He's kind of gone into foreign territory because things are getting a little heated, a little dangerous for him. And things have a time. They have to happen at the right time. So he kind of backs off a bit, heads into Gentile territory a little bit. And so he leaves that place. So it says, leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from the vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly from demon possession." So you have this mother, wants healing for her child. The child is suffering from demon possession. She doesn't know what to do. But of course, people from even the foreign lands have heard what Jesus has been doing. They have heard of the Jewish Messiah who's supposed to come, and that Jesus has come, and he's doing all these healing works, driving out demons, healing the sick. So she wants to heal her daughter. So she goes to Jesus. And going to Jesus refers to him as Son of David, Lord, Son of David. Gives him the proper respect, even though she's referred to as a Canaanite. And she is trying to get healing for her daughter, to drive that demon out. But there's an issue here. Something very interesting. She's not a Jew. She's a Gentile. Not just a Gentile, it refers to her as a Canaanite. And if you remember who the Canaanites were, anyone remember the Canaanites? In the Old Testament, the Canaanites, they were the people who were in the land the Jews were supposed to take over. When they came from Egypt and came to the promised land, the land that was promised to them by God, it was inhabited by the Canaanites. And they were to drive the people out. They fought them, they killed them, they drove them out of the land. The reason was because they were corrupt in their pagan worship, extremely so. They were an enemy of the Israelites, an enemy of God. So here this woman is not just referred to as a pagan, a Gentile, but also a Canaanite, as an enemy of Israel. So let's find out what Jesus does. Let's find out how Jesus reacts. We go to verse 23. Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us." So Jesus hears her plea, doesn't say a word. He just ignores her. It's interesting. What's Jesus doing here? Why is he ignoring this woman? Why is he doing that? And then, because he's ignoring her, she keeps crying out after the disciples, trying to get results. She won't give up. She's crying out to them. Maybe one of them can do something or convince Jesus to do something. She's not giving up. She wants her child to be healed, to be rid of that demon possession, to stop suffering. And ladies, when you're a mom, that's what you want for your child. You don't want them to suffer. You want them to be well. You'll do anything for them, anything within your power. She will not give up. And the disciples are like, Jesus, if you're not going to do anything for this woman, could you at least send her away? She's kind of bothering all of us. She's being kind of an annoyance to us. Now, they're not lifting a finger to do anything, but they tell Jesus, send her away at least. If you're not going to help her, send her away. So let's see what happens next. Let's go to verse 24. He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. Jesus says that he was sent for the Jews. He says that he's only sent for the Jewish people. "I've only come for the lost sheep of Israel." He's kind of politely telling her, it's like, I haven't come for the Gentiles yet. I've come only for the lost sheep of Israel. So she's being rejected now. Jesus is kind of politely refusing her request. And now she's on her knees. On her knees, she's like, "Lord, help me. Help me." She's still not giving up. She's respectfully asking, referring to him as Lord again. "Lord, help me." So she's not giving up. She's not taking no for an answer. She wants her child to stop suffering because she loves her child that much. She loves her child that much. So let's keep going. In verse 26, he replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." Okay. Ladies, Jesus just called this woman a dog. If someone called you a dog, how would you react? I know a few of you would be like, "Oh, no, he didn't." "Oh, no, he didn't." Now, to be fair, the term being used here is actually for a household pet, not the term for like a wild dog or a mongrel. So, it's a dog that belongs to the master of the household, but still less than the children, and still being called a dog. Because the Jews had a view of Gentiles that they were like dogs, basically. Like dogs in the street. So he not only denies the request again, but insults her, saying the stuff I've brought is for the children, the Jews, not for the dogs. So how does this woman respond to this? How does she respond to this rejection and an insult? Verse 27, "Yes, Lord," she said, "but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Now, how's that for a response? How's that? She's insulted and rejected. And what does she do? She takes the insult. She accepts the insult. She says, "Yes, Lord. I'm not a Jew. I'm the dog you refer to." She humbles herself, accepts that insult. And then she says, "I'm not looking for the bread. I just want the crumbs that a dog gets to enjoy." How many here have dogs? Yeah. And dogs are good about eating stuff off the floor, aren't they? My mom, she has 2 dogs. And if anything falls on the floor, it becomes fair game for the dogs. Assuming it's not harmful to them, it becomes fair game for those dogs. They eat the crumbs off the floor. She humbles herself. She's like, "Look, I'm not looking for the bread. I just want the crumbs. The crumbs that a dog is entitled to." She's not given up. She's been rejected. Ignored, rejected with an insult, but she humbles herself and is still not giving up. So let's find out how Jesus replies to this. Then Jesus answered, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed at that very hour. So Jesus recognizes her faith. Because this is a Gentile woman, a Canaanite, has no reason to believe in the Jewish Messiah, to believe in the Jewish God. But she comes to Jesus. She has faith that he is this Messiah that they've been promised, has faith that he is going to heal her daughter, to drive out that demon, to end that suffering. He recognizes that faith and heals her daughter. Recognizes that faith and grants her request because she didn't give up, because she held on to that faith. So what was Jesus doing here? What was Jesus doing? Why was he rejecting her? You see, he was testing her. See, it seems kind of mean that he first ignored her and then rejected her and then rejected her with an insult. And we're like, that's not the Jesus we know. That's not the Jesus we read in Scripture. But yet it's in there. See, he was testing her. Because remember, I said the Gentiles were viewed as dogs, as less than the Jews by the Jews themselves. And eventually the gospel would have to go to the Gentiles. The Jews would have to accept the Gentiles in. So when he's testing her, so her faith will be seen. But also for the Jews, for his followers, so they can recognize that this is a Gentile woman, a Canaanite, because she's a descendant of the people that they drove out of the land hundreds of years ago. And she's showing great faith. So it's a testimony to his followers as well, that this mother is showing great faith, despite not being a Jew, despite not being an Israelite. Because there's really two really good qualities that make a good mom. And that's faith and love. Some might add patience in there. Patience is good too, but it boils down to faith and love. Because with faith, you have faith that you work your hardest. You do everything for your child. You do right by them. And you have faith that they're going to turn out right. They're going to stay on that path. Because there's no guarantee, is there? You can do everything right by a child and they can still stray. So you have to have faith that you're doing what's right for them, that you're doing what's best for them, and that it's going to turn out right even though they might seem to stray from the path. You have faith that you've taught them right, and that they'll come back to it, and they'll try to stay on that path. And faith in God, faith that God will give you the strength to be a mom, give you that superhero ability to be a mom. A faith in God that you teach to your children by praying for them, by loving them, by taking them to church, by putting their needs ahead of yours. And that brings us to love. Because mothers, you love your children dearly, so much you would do anything for them. Do anything to make sure that they're safe, they're taken care of, that they're provided for. You show the kind of love that God has for us. Like I said, no matter how much they do right or how much they completely mess up, you love them. You love them dearly. Being a good mom like that requires that faith and requires love. And I say, good job, moms. Good job. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for raising your children, for loving them, for having faith in them, having faith in God, showing them that faith, being an example to them. Thank you for that. Thank you for showing them God's love, for sacrificing for them. If you know any mothers today, make sure you thank them. You show them that they are appreciated. Show them that they are loved, that someone recognizes the hard work they go through to be a mom. Because it's not an easy task. Sometimes it's an ungrateful task. I should say many times it's an ungrateful task, especially when it comes down to discipline. Because your children don't really show you much love when you discipline them, do they? So make sure they know they're appreciated. And we have a special surprise for your moms today. A special surprise. for all the ladies of the church, you're going to be getting a flower, a carnation. We have a bunch, and I believe the kids are supposed to come in here at some point here and hand out some flowers. They're not quite here yet. So, someone wants to maybe go back and tell Jim that we're ready for the flowers. I think Tony's going to. Tony's got it. All right, cool. Thanks, Tony. That way he knows we're getting towards the end here. It's getting close. So, we're going to have the kids bring out the flowers, give them to the moms and the ladies of the congregation. Whether or not you're a mom to children, a mom to pets, because let me tell you, owning pets is kind of like being a mom, kind of like being a parent. My wife will tell you this. Because they act up and you yell at them just like your kids. So all you pet owners, you know this. So as they get the flowers ready, we're going to go on to our final thought. Our final thought for today. Faith and love are what makes mothers so special. Faith and love are what make mothers so special. Like I said, that faith in God, the faith that all their work, all their hard work in loving their child, in disciplining them, in doing right by them, whether they appreciate it or not, that you're doing what's best. And that one day they're going to look back on this, look back at how you raised them, and understand that you did good by them. And they'll appreciate that. Faith and love, what make mothers so special. That unconditional love, that love of God. The love that God shows for us. So to all you mothers out there, all the mothers who might be watching on Facebook, and any mothers who watch after the fact when the video goes up online, thank you. Happy Mother's Day.